Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this, another episode of 97th Heaven. So, it is March, which means that it's WrestleMania season. And, oh, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to do for you tonight WrestleMania 13. Now, I have to say, I have been dreading watching this show, because I haven't watched this show for years. I've been making a point to avoid this show, because this show, I remember being garbage, okay? Utter garbage. So, yeah, have to say, was dreading this one. Buyrate, a 0.77, up 2 points from the 0.5 that Final Four had drawn. And to be fair, yeah, and we'll just mention that Bret Hart won the title at Final Four, as I'm sure you remember from my review. The next night, Bret dropped it to Psycho Sid when Stone Cold Steve Austin interfered, and there you are, you had your two WrestleMania main events essentially right there, ready to go. So, opening contest was the Headbangers defeating the Blackjacks, the Godwinns, and Doug Furnas and LaFon in a crap match to become the #1 contenders to the Tag Team Championships the next night on Raw. So awful brawling to start from all four teams. The Headbangers double team LaFon with Blackjack. Then LaFon hits a crap looking Northern Lights suplex on Windham for 2. He follows that up with a nice looking Rana. Bradshaw in, and everything he does looks absolutely shite. Incidentally, these two, the Blackjacks, had cut a promo backstage before this one had started, yeah. And Bradshaw had done one of his classic shouty promos. It was just shite. Also, it needs to be said, ladies and gentlemen, that if the word new is ever put before a tag team, so you had the new Rockers, for example, which was Martin Jannetty and Leif Cassidy, the new Blackjacks here, which is Blackjack, Windham and Bradshaw, the word new equals shit. It means that this team will be shit. The new Midnight Express is another one, which was Bart Gunn and Bob Holly, wasn't it? New equals crap. Just bear that in mind. Anyway, basically on the outside, the Blackjacks shove the referee, so they get disqualified, and while that's happening, LaFon and Phineas, they get counted out. So you're like, well, that was utterly pointless, leaving us with the Godwinns and the Headbangers. Yay, woohoo. Basically, this match doesn't go anywhere at all. Basically, Thrasher, yeah, I was right the first time. Thrasher gets plays facing peril for ages until he gets the hot tag, yeah? The problem is that the hot tag isn't a hot tag at all, because there's no reaction to it at all. There's no crowd reaction to anything in this match. Thrasher does... No, sorry, Mosh. I'm getting confused between them. Mosh does a springboard splash to the outside, and then he basically launches Thrasher onto Henry Godwinn. They're the highlights of this match. Honestly, with God, they are. That gives it a 1/4 of a star. Cannonball gets the win for the Headbangers. Utter waste of time this one was. Next, Rocky Maivia defeated the Sultan in a shit match. First thing to note before this one is, this is to retain the Intercontinental Championship. First thing to note is that the Honky Tonk Man comes out to do colour commentary, which is lovely, yay. And it's like his commentary style is so fucking awful because he's shouting. He's doing that shouty 80s style that just sounds crap in the 90s and sounds even worse today. Honest to God, it does. Sultan, for those of you, I'm sure there has to be someone watching this who doesn't know. The Sultan, it became Rikishi a couple of years later. He was also Headbanger Fatu. And the Sultan has Bob Backlund and the Iron Sheik with him, just to confirm that he's a big bad heel, you know. Anyway, so Sultan starts off with a shoulder block, but Rocky comes back. He kicks up, and takes over with a lariat and a drop kick. Need to point out before I continue, nothing, and I mean nothing, that Rocky does in this match gets any sort of reaction from the crowd. Nothing. Sultan controls with a nerve hold and to no reaction. And so, I lie. I tell a lie. I tell a big lie, because Rocky does get a reaction. This time, this match, yeah, is the first time on pay-per-view that we hear the dreaded Rocky sucks chants. 3 times they flare up in this one. Need to point that out. Headbutt off the top gets 2 for Sultan, followed by belly to belly that also gets 2. Match is so slow and so dull. Loads of rest holds by the Sultan lead to Rocky hulking up to no reaction. Hits a belly to belly suplex for 2. Beautiful DDT and a flying Brody press to Sheik distracts the ref. Sultan with a super kick and a pile driver. They both get 2. But Rocky, literally out of nowhere, gets a roll up for the 1, 2, 3. Crap match, and that is a dud. A straight up dud. There's nothing of entertainment value here at all. The heels all beat on Rocky at the end, and then Rocky Johnson, The Rock's dad, comes charging out and gets owned. But then they both hulk up and you get rid of the heels. Utter waste of time. Rock would, as a little note, Rock would lose the Intercontinental Championship to Owen Hart on the 28th of April edition of Raw as well, just in case you want to know, because I remember things like that. Triple H defeated Goldust in a boring match. These two had had a half-star match at the Royal Rumble, I'm sure you're remembering. Speaking of Goldust, before we go on, some people have asked me what I thought of Goldust's book, because they know that, you know, I read a lot of wrestling books. Oh man, it was bad, wasn't it? I don't know if you read this one. It's a bad wrestling book. For first things first, right? I'll tell you exactly to the letter Y if you like, right? First things first, it's ghost written, which you know I don't like. It's always going to go get, you know, bad press in my books if it's ghost written. Secondly, the whole point of the book is to talk about his falling out with his dad. That's the whole crux of this one. And the third one, it doesn't really go anywhere. You know, it's just like, get on with it, please, you know. And, you know, it touches on his drugs addiction, which, you know, to be honest, I didn't know really much about. But other than that, I mean, it's literally, let me tell you this one, to cut a very long story short. Avoid Goldust's book like the proverbial plague. How's that one sound? So, this one, Hunter cuts a terrible promo before this one. Again, it's a shouty promo. Shouty. Don't like him. Hunter's got Chyna with him, who has never had any cosmetic surgery. No siree. She just looks like a man and has no tits. Goldust has Marlena with him. Obviously so. Goldust controls from the start to no reaction. Hits that beautiful power slam that he does. Triple H tries to superplex, but he tries to suplex Goldust, yeah, but instead changes his mind and basically pushes Goldust off the top rope. Goldust's face hits the apron on his way down, and it sounds really nasty. But then when you look at the replay, you see he basically does this. As he comes down, his hands hit the apron, and it's like, oh, that's not very good. Yeah, the first time you see it, because it happens so fast, you're like, oh my god, he's just face planted the apron. Second time, you're like, that's not good, is it? Anyway, Triple H controls with punches, kicks, and a knee. Abdominal stretch by Hunter to utter silence. Hunter with a vertical suplex and a DDT. Goldust gets a couple of 2 counts off a backslide and an inside cradle. Hunter goes up top. But as he comes off, Goldust, yeah, baby, right. Imagine this. Triple H basically essentially jumps off the top rope. Now, it's one of those situations where, right, he doesn't try to do an axe handle, doesn't try and do an elbow, he just jumps off. So Goldust, and the only way I can describe this is to show you what he does, right? Imagine I'm Goldust, and I'm kneeling on the ground, yeah, and Triple H is coming off the top. Basically, he does this, and jumps backwards, and basically asses him. And there's no, I don't know what the word for that is, but basically he launches himself ass first into Triple H. Wonderful. Match feels so very, very long. I need to point that out as well. Bulldog by Goldust gets 2 as Chyna goes after Marlena and distracts Goldust as he goes for the curtain call. Triple H pushes Goldust into Marlena, who basically she's got on the apron to try and escape from Chyna. Chyna basically catches her. Goldust turns around, eats a pedigree for the 1, 2, 3. I give this one half a star. So they managed to have a half a star match at the Royal Rumble, and here in the conclusion of the feud, they have a half a star match. Yay! Next, it gets a little bit better as Owen Hart and the British Bulldog defeated. Oh no, sorry, they didn't defeat at all. I lie. Owen Hart and British Bulldog versus Vader and Mankind went to a draw. Apparently, Vader and Mankind were booked to win this one and to win the tag team championships, but Bret Hart pulled a power play and demanded that the belts stay on Owen Hart and British Bulldog to help settle the Hart Foundation angle that was just a few weeks away. I don't know if that's true or not, that's just something I've been told. Vader owns Owen at the start, including a powerbomb, but he doesn't cover. Bulldog and Mankind go at it. Bulldog hits both Mankind and Vega with vertical suplexes. Vader uses the urn on Bulldog, because of course Vader and Mankind are managed by Paul Bearer. So of course Paul Bearer's got the urn, I need to point that out. Vader uses the urn on Bulldog, as I noticed that, yeah, one of the things that I should have noticed, you know, as this one started, but it's only halfway through the match that I noticed that all 4 of these are heels. So it's like, that's an interesting combo. Because who do the fans chant for in this one out of the 4 of them? That's right, they chant for Owen Hart. Interesting that one, isn't it? Splash gets 2 for Vader. He goes up top again, but gets power slammed off by Bulldog. Owen in, and he gets 2 off a body press, but then gets absolutely battered, including taking a demolition decapitation on the outside, which is where one of them holds, does a backbreaker on them, holds them in the backbreaker position, and then basically that's what Vader does. Mankind comes off the apron with an elbow. That's a demolition disc application, if you don't remember that one. Owen gets a TDT on Mankind. He then gets beats from Vader again until he hits a belly-to-belly on the outside on Mankind. Insecurity to Mankind. And then a hot tag to Bulldog. But literally, Bulldog does a couple of things with a hot tag, but then Mankind locks on the mandible claw. And basically, the two of them get knocked over the top rope. And Mankind just refuses to let go of the mandible claw on the outside, so the referee just calmly counts them out. The thing is, the actual count out, when the bell goes, there's no reaction from the crowd whatsoever, and the announcers continue to talk about Owen and Vader going at it in the ring. So it just feels very confusing, you know? You're just like, it's a very unsatisfactory end to what had been developing into an alright match. So I'll give it a 1.5 stars. Next. Not the greatest of WrestleManias, this one, is it, so far? But there is one shining, saving light, maybe, on the horizon, as Bret Hart defeats Stone Cold Steve Austin in a superb submission match. Ken Shamrock is the guest referee. Now, before I go on, I need to point that out. These two had fought at the Survivor Series in 1996. In my opinion, that's a 5-star classic that is not only a classic, but I believe it's a forgotten classic. Not many people seem to remember it. I believe it's one of the best matches I've ever seen. Now, that's a 5-star classic. This one is a 5-star classic, but they're completely different matches. I've always said, and I'm sure long-term viewers of mine will remember that I've said this, that I don't have a lot of time for Bret Hart. But you know, these two matches with Stone Cold really showed how good Bret was, to his credit, you know. This is the match that this pay-per-view is basically remembered for, in my opinion. What else? Yeah, be honest with yourself. What do you remember about WrestleMania 13 other than this match? If I thought about WrestleMania 13 before watching it again, I would think of this one, the Rock's match, and the main event. The rest of the matches I honestly couldn't have told you. That's how good WrestleMania 13 is. That's how much of an impact this show made. Oh, yeah, shall we get on with it? There's a whole couple of pages of notes for this one, because a lot happens in it. So, the brawl to start, Bret whips Austin into the ring post, so Austin responds by crotching Bret on the guardrail, because he can. They brawl into the crowd. Austin tries a pile driver but gets backdropped, and when he does it, yeah, there's a guy right on camera. There's, you know, the one guy that stands out is a guy wearing a black NWO t-shirt, and you're just like, yeah, I'm sat there thinking, I wonder what Vince is thinking. I bet he's loving the fact that there's a rival brand's fucking t-shirt on screen. Anyway, on the outside, Bret gets whipped into the steps, then Austin comes off the apron with a clothesline. Austin then rams Bret into the post. In the ring, Bret hits a sweet neck breaker and starts to work the knee. He works the knee for a good 5 minutes. Does all sort of things like, you know, he puts the knee on the rope and stomps on it, and you know, drops an elbow on the knee and all sorts of things like that. Oh, lovely, lovely. Austin, to his credit, sells it perfectly, absolutely perfectly. He hits a stunner and out of nowhere, but can't capitalise because of the knee. Like I say, he stands up, but yeah, he's limping like hell, you know, because of the knee. All good. Bret continues to work the knee, including the ring post figure 4, which is the first time that's been seen on WWF pay-per-view. Apparently, that's another thing that I've been told. That's another thing. It's one of those things that I can't clarify or guarantee, but you know, that's what I've been told. Gets a big pop as well, and that spot does. And now I've lost my place. Bret gets the ring belt and the chair. He Pillmanizes Austin's knee, which, if you don't know, he sits and whacks the shit out of Austin's knee. Puts the chair on Austin's knee and goes up top. But this is brilliant. Austin gets up, gets the chair off his knee, and wallops Bret. Unprotected chair shot right to the head. Gets a monster pop. You can feel in this one, you can feel that there's a double change coming, because the crowd, Austin goes in as the heel, Bret's the face. Yeah, you've got to remember that, but you can feel as the match goes on that it's subtly changing, you know. Austin, just bear with me for 2 seconds. If I don't shut that, I know that the wind will catch it and it'll make me fucking jump a mile, and then I'll look like an idiot. Yeah, Bret goes into this one as the face, Austin's the heel. Like I say, it ever so subtly starts to change. God, it's such a horrible day today. Anyway, yeah, and yeah, with that chair shot, the crowd fucking love it. They really do. Whip into the turnbuckle and a vertical suplex by Austin, who then stops selling the knee. Oh! If you were a long-term viewer of mine, you remember when I did a review last month about No Way Out 2001 from the WWF, and I mentioned that Austin used to do stuff like this a lot. Here's another example of it. All the match he'd been selling the knee, and then for a good 10 minutes he stopped selling it. And you're just like, oh! Little things like that bug me. I think it's a credit to these two that the match is that good that I don't knock any points off it at all for it. Need to point that out. Anyway, now I've lost my place again. Hits an elbow off the top. This is Austin, by the way. A Russian leg sweep and a cross arm breaker type thing. He then hits does a Boston Crab. Bret makes the rope, so Austin tries a sharpshooter. Bret breaks the ice to escape. On the outside, Austin is whipped into the guardrail, which busts him open. I tell you something, if he does a blade job here, I sure as fuck can't see it. And I am very, very good, as you know, at spotting them, to the point where this one, I watched it, yeah, saw that he got busted open and actually had to rewind it and go, where's the blade job? Just don't see it. Just can't see it. All you see is he whips into the rope, into the guardrail, yeah? And the camera stays on him the whole time. And then Bret goes and grabs him, turning around, and he's got a great big cut over his left eye. And you're like, where the fuck's that come from? So it could be hard way. It could be. It could be. If it's a blade job, it's a manly one. And it's a very well done one, is what I'll say. Yeah, he's absolutely pissing blood as well, I need to point out as well. Inside, Bret with a backbreaker, he uses the chair on the knee again. He goes for a sharpshooter, but Austin counters. Bret pounds in the corner, but Austin goes low. Suplex by Austin, he gets a cable and chokes Bret with it, but Bret grabs the ring bell that he brought into the ring like 15 minutes earlier, clocks Austin with it. Fantastic. Sharpshooter. And we get the now famous shot of Austin, screaming in pain, the blood rushing down his face. Austin somehow manages to power out of it, but Bret holds on to the legs, puts the sharpshooter back on in the middle of the ring, and that's it. Game over. Austin passes out. Bret is your winner. And Bret starts to heal it up because he continues to pound on Austin, to the point until Ken Shamrock, who'd done nothing in the match, it has to be said, nothing at all. A guest referee you expect to get involved at some point, he'd done nothing, but then he hits a belly-to-belly suplex on Bret, which is fantastic. Bret leaves the ring to a chorus of boos. Austin, and he eventually gets up. A referee comes out to help him, so Austin stuns the referee just because he can, and then limps out of the ring with the fucking crowd chanting his name. And if that ain't a 5-star classic, I don't know what is. Absolutely superb. Bear with me a second. It's getting a bit dark in here, isn't it? Weirdly enough, for a nice spring day where it's pissing it down with rain. Ha! Of course, yeah. I still prefer the Survivor Series 96 match. It's just... But at the end of the day, they're completely different matches. So, it really is a case of watch them both and take your pick. Because, if you choose one, good for you. If you choose another, good for you. I can't hold it against you, really, can I? Next! Oh, man, someone, of course, has to follow that. And the next one was such a bad one. As the Legion Demon Ahmed Johnson defeated Farooq Crush and Savio Vega in a crap Chicago street fight. A street fight after a match that was brutal and barbaric. You're just thinking to yourself. And literally, I could tell you about what happens in this one, but the thing about this one is there's so much going on, because not only have you got the 6 guys in the ring, but of course the Nation of Domination have got all their lackeys with them. So anytime that the faces get an advantage, basically, the lackeys come in and fucking attack them. I'll tell you a couple of notable things. The things that stick out in my mind are Ahmed Johnson does a really nice springboard plancha over the guardrail. He does those twice, one on Crush and one on Farooq. A classic moment where Animal goes to pile drive. Oh, it's so bad. I really hope this hasn't been on a Botchamania thing, because I've sent Matthew a message with it. If it has, then it's fair enough. But Animal picks up Farooq, goes to pile driver him through the French announce table and misses the table, if you can believe that. Bearing in mind, he sat there with him hit. He actually managed to sit down and miss the table. That's pathetic. There's fire extinguishers, there's weapon shots all over the place. It's so hard to follow. It's really confusing as well. And it's, alright, because there's a couple of notable things, it's a 1-star match because I'm so nice. It really is. But, I mean, it's confusing crap at the same time. And then, in the main event, The Undertaker defeats Psycho Sid in it's a 1.5-star match, I think, to win the WWF Championship. Shawn Michaels comes out to colour commentary, working with gritted teeth through the pain of his smilectomy. Bret Hart comes out after the bells rang. He rips the shit out of Shawn Michaels on the microphone. He then rips the shit out of Undertaker because he can, and then he turns to Sid and starts saying, the belt that you've got's mine, yada yada yada. So Sid, calm as like, clotheslines him and powerbombs him, and you're like, that could have turned Sid face by default. That right there was Bret Hart's heel turn, I believe. You know, but like I say, you know, the reaction that Sid gets for powerbombing Bret is probably one of the biggest ones he's ever got. So, let's go on with it, shall we? Taker starts off with a big boot, a splash in the corner, and a slam for 2. Rope walk of doom, but Sid follows up with a bear hug. It's a fucking long one as well, because every time Undertaker gets out of it, Sid just puts it back on again. You're like, oh, get on with it. This match, can I just point out before I continue, goes 21 minutes. It's fucking ridiculous. This match should have been 10 minutes shorter than that. Before I continue, I just need to point that out. Because, you know, I'm watching this on my Xbox and I, you know, noticed that I bring up the thing before the bell's gone. I'm like, how long's left of this? 35 minutes left of this show. Like, you're fucking joking me. And you're like, well, when Bret Hart comes out and Shawn Michaels comes out for you to the commentary, you're like, right, fair enough, that's going to take out a bit. Match was 21 minutes. Like, no! Please, no! Yeah, eventually Taker ends up on the outside. Sid drops in on the guardrail, then slams Taker into the Spanish announce table, which sells it like a boss. Inside, it's rest hold number 2, as Sid puts on a camel clutch. Axe handle off the top, and a horrible looking power slam get 2 for him. 3 times, as Sid actually does something good. You know, every time Undertaker kicks out, he goes, God damn it, and covers again. That should happen more often in wrestling, especially by a heel. You know, a cover uses energy, you know, should do it loads, but no one ever does. Leg drop gets 2 for Sid, flying lariat by Taker, and then he brawl on the outside. Inside, Taker misses an elbow, so Sid puts on rest hold number 3, and yet, it's your favourite and mine, ladies and gentlemen, it's a fucking chin lock. Oh, it is. God damn it. Taker breaks it and power slams Sid. Rest hold number 4 as Taker puts on the Vulcan nerve grip of doom. They go back. They both go for a big boot, which leads to a double KO. Another double axe handle by Sid gets 2. He hits a clothesline off the top, but then another axe handle is blocked. Sid gets crotched and slammed off the top for doom. Clothesline off the top by Taker gets 2. He calls for tombstone, but Sid counters to one of his own, and that gets 2. They go outside, and Bret Hart comes out. He whacks Sid with a chair. Undertaker takes advantage and rams Sid into the ring post, and they go inside. Taker takes advantage and hits a chokeslam. That gets 2. He goes for a flying. It looks like he's going to go for his flying clothesline thing, but I don't know what he actually does, because it looks like he does like a spin in midair. It's really horrible looking crap. Sid calls for the powerbomb, but here comes Bret Hart again. He gets in the apron and basically jawbreakers Psycho Sid. Psycho Sid turns around, walks into the tombstone pile driver. 1, 2, and 3. Undertaker is your world heavyweight champion, and it's his 2nd WWF championship. The match is so long, and to be honest, it's not very good. I know that I've written a lot, a page and a half of notes, but there's nothing that really stands out of the match other than Bret Hart coming in, to be honest. And like I say, 21 minutes plus, you know, it's way too long. Like, you know, trim 10 minutes off this one. Could have had a better match. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. WrestleMania 9 is the worst WrestleMania, in my opinion, out there. I mean, there's been some stinkers in the last decade, but WrestleMania 9 is the worst. And then, do you know, I always used to believe that either 11 or 4 were the worst after that one. For various reasons, but I've got to be honest, this one goes straight in at number 2. This is bollocks. This is such a bad show. And the thing about this one is what I'll say, is that the match that everyone remembers is the submission match between Bret Hart and Stone Cold Steve Austin, yeah? And that can be found elsewhere. So let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, you have no reason to watch this show whatsoever. I promise you that. Oh, I really do. Ladies and gentlemen, I have been Mark P. This has been WrestleMania 13, part of the 97th Heaven series. Next up in the 97th Heaven series, I'm going to do WCW Uncensored 1997. I really hope you enjoyed this. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. Let me know what you thought of this show down here, and I'll see you all very soon. Take it easy, guys.